It's probably better if we actually talk about a couple of things that's been going on. One subject that came up on the nonprofits recently that I brought up was this idea of whether or not there's a schism within the skeptic community.
Yes.
And I happen to think that there is, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But then it came up that there's also a schism, supposedly, in the atheist community. And there have been a number of people who've written articles lately trying to make this case. And I find it kind of laughable, because what they're identifying is a schism within the atheist community, which I would say is a sub-community of skeptics in some areas. I'll have to draw you a Venn diagram at a later date. But the schism that they're talking about is really just among the people who are atheists. What views do they have on how to address the issues? Some are more vocal, outspoken, antagonistic, relentless, as I might fall into that category. And some would prefer that we just kind of stay quiet and not try to try our best.
Be the nice atheist.
Not to offend anybody.
Right.
And I'm fine with that, in the sense that I'm fine with the idea that there are perhaps multiple approaches to discussing the issues.
Well, there should be. I mean, part of being an atheist is we're all a bunch of free thinkers. And I think some of these articles, and I've read some of P.Z. Meyer's feedback on Feringula about his opinions on some of what people are saying about supposed atheist schisms. And you're right, it's simply the case of different atheists having different ideas about how to communicate the concept of atheism and the ideas that are popular among atheists to other atheists as well as the general public. And why that should be a bad thing, people having different views and arguing them and debating them, is sort of a mystery. I think what's happening is people who are pointing at this and thinking this, haha, look, the atheists are having a schism. Or
they're manufacturing something.
Right, well, they're thinking of atheism in terms, in the same way that they would think of how either a religious group would behave, like the Episcopalians or the Catholics or the Methodists or whatever. And, how they have a schism over some of them are okay with gay priests and others aren't. It's like, well, the reason you call it a schism in those venues is because these are people working off religious dogma.
Right. There is some orthodox perspective for them to.
Same thing in political parties, where there's a party platform,
right?
And then people who deviate from the party platform are usually irritate the hardliners, and then you have that back and forth. In atheism, we don't have anything like that.
We have one thing.
Yeah, we don't believe in any gods.
There's no schism.
Yeah,
all of them, regardless of what tactic.
There's no schism about that one.
What method they're willing to sanction, or what level of discussion they're willing to approve of. They all agree on the same thing, and that's that we do not believe in a God.
That's such a common thing that you encounter are the people who aren't atheists who don't, or who are encountering the new atheism for the first time or what have you. They filter this through what they're already used to, which is they think of it in terms of being, oh, well, here's just another group with its orthodoxies. And they don't really understand that it's a very different thing here. And among atheists, of course, nobody argues amongst themselves more ferociously, I think, than atheists, because we encourage free thought, challenging one another's ideas. There are no sacred cows.
By and large, what they're identifying is something that we've pointed out over and over and over again, which is that there's one and only one unifying aspect among atheists, and that is this disbelief in a God. Outside of that, you can have anything, which is why we did an entire episode, Russell and I did, on foolish atheists. People who, there's no guarantee that not believing in a God suddenly makes you rational, or that you were rational before. There's nothing along those lines at all. When you're only, when you only have one point. It's like saying we're a group of non-smokers or non-football players. Outside of that, you could have any number of positions and views. You can agree and disagree. We have people. There's no political consensus even within our small group. I mean, the ACA here in Austin, you're going to find people who are on almost any side of almost any issue, and as you spread that to a larger group or a larger collective of atheists, you're going to find that there's a lot of different categories. So the schism they're identifying is just hey, you know what? All these people who say they don't believe in God, they don't agree on everything. Well, yeah.
Welcome to our world.
Someday they'll all agree with me, and then we'll be in a better place. But until then, until they either see the folly of their ways, we're going to disagree on a few things.
Oh, well.
Martin already is approaching agreeing with me on everything.
Well, I'm close.
And the areas where we don't agree, clearly you're mistaken.
Well, there's the thing about KY versus Johnson's baby. Well, I'm not quite. I'm not with you on that, but we'll just have to.
There are some areas where it's okay to disagree.
Yes, such as that.